Peace, power, and prosperity, y'all. Rob Blackstorm. What I want to talk about today is I want to talk about this being murder season. Now, murder season can be perceived two ways, right? And this mindset or state of mind was inspired by the great poet Muhammad. He has a song on Pray for Haiti, this album Pray for Haiti, called Murder Season, right? At the end of the song, he talks about burning out desire, burning, it's time to murder, weakness and murder, negative thinking and things like that. So when you're doing that, you're looking like royalty king.
Well, at least we not at the door.
That's all that matters, right? We still up. Take care. Yeah, so we talking about murder season, right? Murdering things that no longer serve our well-being. I'm gonna probably go live tonight. I just want to do a quick drop. I was scrolling through YouTube, and as I was scrolling through YouTube, I saw somebody talking about you got to be careful. And this is one thing we got to murder. We got to murder these scammers, not physically, but murder their existence, like murder the views, murder giving them attention, and we have to murder our ignorance too by studying and researching and really seeing, do these things make sense? Can we prove them? Is there a scientific basis to what they're saying? And I'm not talking about like peer-reviewed science, right? I'm talking about what science used to be called, nature philosophy. Is there some sort of backing? Does it make sense? And most importantly, right? Most importantly, is it practical? Does it help me ascend, right? So I'm watching this YouTuber, and she's telling me, or telling her audience, I should say, that if you vibrate high enough, right? And this YouTube, I ain't gonna say their name, but they talk about spirituality. They out here looking like Miss Cleo, right? She got the look. She got the look, right? And she's like, if you vibrate high enough, you could see dragons, right? You could even ride dragons. That's the let me show y'all a New York ice cream truck. Can y'all see it? New York ice cream truck. Legendary, Mr. Softy. And he's like, yo, if you vibrate high enough, you could see, she's like, if you vibrate high enough, you could see dragons. And I'm like, if I vibrate high enough, I could see dragons. You could see dragons? Okay. Let's say this is true, and I don't know anything, right? And I'm just a dumbass. What do I know, right? Let's say if I vibrate high enough, I could see dragons. Let's say I do, right? I get to the point where I'm vibrating so high that I'm seeing motherfucking dragons. What am I going to do with these dragons? What if I ride a dragon, then what? I'm going to burn down the Pentagon? I'm going to burn down the Eiffel Tower in Paris? I'm going to burn down, going to burn down the White House? Like, what am I going to do if I'm on a dragon? It's not practical, people, And people say these things like, I've even seen another guy talking about, if you stare at the wall long enough, you in a building, you stare at the wall long enough, and if you're vibrating high enough, right, you'll be able to see through the wall and see what your neighbors are doing. Spirituality, magic, is an inside-out process. Everything starts within. All the dragons seeing and walking through walls and the, you know, all these other things that people, flying and, farting and shooting out fireballs and all this crazy shit that people talk about really has no practical use. Unfortunately, there's audiences naive enough to believe it. And this is why there's audiences naive enough to believe it. Because the audiences aren't doing their own research. They are not taking what these people say, sitting on it, and really thinking, does this make sense, right? Second of all, they're listening to a lot of these people, because a lot of these people that talk about, these dragons and walking through walls and these 3 suns and these 5 moons, right? There's no proof behind it. There's no, this is where I got this from. There's no, this is really, this is the source material. This is the book. This is the research. This is where I got this idea from. This is how I could prove this idea. It says, study to show thyself approved. That's a scripture. And if you're just out here believing these people that predict, another one, New York, get out of New York, something's gonna happen before September. Well, I'm gonna be here till September, right? And I'm gonna check to see if that prediction is really true. Because people just come on here online and just say anything to y'all. And a lot of people spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt. FUD, right? It's a marketing tactic. Because if they have you in fear that the government's going to do this, or they're going to poison this, or they're going to put this in the food, or they're going to do all this, right? But I got the solution. Come to my class, take my course, buy my crystals, eat my kale, take my herbs, drink my snake oil, take my elixir, and you'll be okay. You got to really be careful, right? I'm not saying that, I provide solutions. I talk about what's going on in the world and provide solutions. That's what teachers do. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But even if I tell you something, right? Research what I'm telling you. Make sure it's something that will work for you. Make sure it's practical. We all so-called black people, right? All melanated beings, especially us that are melanated, right? We all melanated beings. We all spiritual people, but we not all the same, right? I've been spiritual, quote unquote, we all born spiritual, whether we know it or not, right? It's just, are we raising our Kundalini energy to match the energy of nature, right? Are we raising our Kundalini energy to match the energy of nature so we could be in alignment with nature? So we are all spiritual. Spirit just means breath, or to breathe, or the wind. So we all breathing, we all spiritual. But how are you harnessing that energy is what counts. But it's always those so-called spiritual people that, well, let me say this, right? We're not selling spirituality, going back to my original point. This is a process of transformation. This is an alchemical, right? The word chem comes from kemet, right? So this is an alchemical process of literally transformation. This is you building yourself up like a pyramid, brick by brick, stone by stone, using sound and light, which is how they built the pyramids. Look up cymatics, right? cymatics, cymatics. And you'll see how sound could move heavy objects, right? And the pyramids, pyra meaning fire, right? Middle, fire in the middle. So it's literally a storehouse for the transformation of the heart, because the heart is the conductor, right? The heart is the conductor of energy. So when you talk about solving problems and when you're talking about solutions, right, for your issues, you gotta vet these people nowadays. You can't just take it on people's word that what they're telling you and what they're selling you and the course that they're giving you is really gonna benefit you, right? You gotta, if it sounds too good to be true, they talking about dragons and angels and fairies and mermaids and gargoyles and motherfucking, walking trees and concrete buildings with feet. You gotta really see, okay, this sounds good. It sounds entertaining. It sounds like something now, let's get this straight, right? Was there a time that there probably were dragons? Yeah, I believe that. The whole dinosaur thing and all that? Yeah, But in 2023, is it practical, right? Or is it just water cooler talk? Is it just things that I could say to impress my friends? Is it going to take me to the next level spiritually? Is it going to raise my frequency so I could be a better father? So I could be a better husband? So you could be a better wife? You could be a better daughter? You could be a better son? You could heal your childhood trauma? You could speak things into existence? You could visualize someone and then all of a sudden they call you or they happen to come into your sphere. You can mend relationships with people that you had beef with. You're able to charm so-called snakes and haters into doing what you say. You're able to manipulate the powers that so-called be or the powers that were into doing your bidding based on the aura and the energetic field that you have because of the energy that you put out into the universe by you walking like a Christ or you walking like a God while you are here in existence. There are many fancy things that I could talk about, and I would get tons of views. If I told you I saw little men walking in between the cracks of the sidewalk right now, right? And all you had to do was raise your vibration to see them, and I started talking about things like this, I would get tons of views. Because that's what seems to be popping. And that's not what spirituality is about. Spirituality is about inner work. It's about inner transformation. It's about renewing of the mind. And it's about a cleansing of the heart. A lot of it is really about learning how and when to breathe. Learning how and when to harness energy. Learning how and when to invoke energy. Learning how to use energy, color, sound, frequency, words, right? Heka. Learning how to work, learning how to handle and manage your emotions, learning how to manage your reticular activating system so that when you focus on things, right, and you consume so much information that even when you're outside of consuming information, the information that you've studied or read still comes up in your psyche, still comes up in your conscious mind, so to speak. And there's really no such thing as the conscious mind, right? We all are in the subconscious because we're daydreaming. So it's all subconscious. If you have a lucid dream or you astral travel, it's all the subconscious. When you wake up, you're just in a different aspect of the subconscious that we call the conscious. But when you wake up, right? Don't you think about things? Aren't you thinking about your day? Aren't you thinking about how your day is going to go, right? Those of us that are in a practice, you have some sort of morning ritual that you do to get you to, so that you could have a successful day, week, month, year. You have some plan, you have some ideas, even if it's getting the children ready, feeding your dog or something. You're thinking about your life, you're trying to work out your problems, right? You're always daydreaming, you're always in your subconscious, right? The only thing you do in the quote unquote conscious mind is focus your subconscious. That's the subconscious in a focus mode, right? Every behavior that you have is a result of you being in some sort of trance. That's what the whole, if you look at the Kabbalah, Yesod, right? On the Kemetic tree of life, it would be or Set or Isis. And it would be Yemaya for the Ifa, Yoruba spiritual systems, right? That is about going into trance. Every time some type of exciting or tragic event happens in your life, it literally puts you in a state of trance, right? So a lot of times, right, what these people do is they trick you and put you in states of trances with bullshit that's not practical, right? If I tell you I walked outside last night and saw 3 aliens, right? It's shocking, right? It's like, wow, you saw 3 aliens. It puts you in a state of trance. It makes it believable. Now the thing you have to do is control your emotions, right? Because your emotions aren't real. You are literally everything and nothing at the same time. This avatar shell, Rob Blackstorm, this isn't me. This is something that I've accumulated over time. But myself is everything. I am made of stardust. You are made of stardust. Your cells have been here since the beginning of time, since the first cell. Cellular division, right, is why there's so many things. But every cell that you have has been here and will be here till the end of time. So you can't limit yourself. What this is this avatar is a persona. Per through sona, sound, persona. It's something that's created through experiences. When you were born as a child, you're born as what they call a tabula rasa, blank slate. There is no identity. You learn it from your parents and your environment, epigenetics. But you are not this avatar shell. So you have the ability to learn, to access, become, transcend, transform every aspect of the existence, of this existence, and beyond. You have the ability to astral travel. You have the ability to meditate. You have the ability to tap into different clair abilities, right? Whether it's reading minds or ESP or, things that are practical, things that could really help you. Me seeing aliens or me seeing little men walking through the sidewalk or me seeing dragons, how the fuck does that help you on your day-to-day experience? How does that help you pay your bills? How does that help you become one with the universe and one with God and one with the divine that is within you? How does that help you reach the highest vision of yourself? By you learning about things that really make no difference in your life, right? You're wasting your time. You will be better off watching a comedy, because at least laughter is healing, than listening to some of these people tell you about what the government is going to do next to you, what the system, how the system is oppressing you, how the world is against you. Right? It's time. It's murder season, man. We gotta murder these mindsets. We gotta murder our laziness, our lack of research. We gotta murder certain perspectives. We gotta get rid of certain people, throw they ass in the trunk. the trunk of our subconscious, our consciousness, of course, right? Throw these people in the trunk, get rid of them, get them out of our lives, get rid of certain relationships. Now it's about being born again. I'm gonna go live probably either tonight or tomorrow. But I just wanted to tap in real quick to give you this message that it's really time to become born again. It's really time to get practical with your spirituality. It's really time to get rid of some of these habits that are holding you back. Right now, Kundalini energy is at its peak. You see, we're having these heat waves. We're having these solar flares, right? You should, if you are truly on a spiritual path, and even if you're not in a spiritual path, this is for everyone, because this is a natural urge, right? That's what these heat waves are producing. It's burning out certain things in you. There's certain things in you that want to change. But you have to flip the switch, so to speak. You have to unlock those codes in your mitochondrial DNA that'll allow you to to stimulate and exhibit hidden abilities, hidden talents, hidden powers. The reason they say we use 10% of our brain is because we're distracted with bullshit. If we were people who were still part of nature and still one with nature and still following the seasons, nature is a nurturer. Nature is nectar. In fact, what they call science used to be called nature philosophy. And this nature philosophy, right? Because science, I mean, what does science really know? Science only is following the patterns that are already existing in life. That's all science is doing, is uncovering patterns that are already made by the Creator, that are already made by the divine, that are already here in existence, and they're discovering these patterns. But science isn't responsible for shit. Every medicine that they get is based off a herb that they synthesize and they break down, or a mineral. They're not making shit from scratch, right? Everything comes from something, so everything is everything. So the key is, what are you killing off in your life? What is it that needs to go? Is it fear? Is it poverty? Is it insecurity? Is it a relationship? Is it materialism? Is it things? Do you want to impress people? Right? Is it ego? Ego and pride are things that people do not talk about a lot in this community. But there's a lot of egotistical and heavily prideful people in this community. And that is a mask. That is a mask of insecurity. Because at the end of the day, we all pee and poop. We all breathe in the same air. Ma'at, we are all one and interdependent. Lion King, the circle of life, right? We all are independent, no matter what race, color, and creed. There's not much difference between us. So, I want to say this in closing. I'll see y'all soon. There's an aspect, right, that in Kemet they call Herakahuti. In the Hebrew Kabbalah, they call it Gabora. In Ifa, Yoruba, they call it Ogun. This is war, right? A warrior spirit. And you got to have that warrior spirit, not just dealing with an op or dealing with a hater or dealing with your landlord you don't like, or the person at work you don't like, or your boyfriend. The first war, or your girlfriend, or your baby mama, or your baby daddy. The first war starts within. It starts within you. It starts within the heart, right? Search the heart. Take some time in solitude and search your heart and see what it is you need to let go, what it is that you need to murder, what it is that you need to kill to get to the next level. Focus on that. Study that, right? Meditate, concentrate, assimilate, and activate. Meditate on it, concentrate on it, assimilate it, and activate it. My phone's about to die. Peace, power, and prosperity, y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Let me know what you think in the comments about everything I'm saying. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to y'all later. Peace.